Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another banger video by yours truly. We are going to be discussing everything there is to know about Reverse 1999, the time-traveling brand new role-playing strategy game that takes place in the 20th century. They just dropped a brand new event for patch 1.1, also their debut event. And we're going to be covering all the elements and aspects there are to know about this event, pertaining to its beautiful jazzy music, as well as the promotional characters and their prowess, how is their kit designed to be utilized, and then of course we'll go over the fun mini events incorporated into this as well. And then last but definitely not least, we got to talk about the rewards. Can't forget those rewards. Also, just so you guys can know, I am somebody who currently manages 2 YouTube channels. I'm also a personal trainer, a father to a loving daughter, and a beautiful partner who is my better half. Meaning I don't have a lot of time, yet somehow I was still able to enjoy this game comfortably without feeling like I didn't have any time. In other words, it respects your time, okay? So if you're feeling that pressure of, I don't know if I can get into another game, trust me when I tell you, this game is perfectly capable of being fit into your schedule. And I would also like to add that if you deem yourself a turn-based RPG fan, trust me when I tell you, you'll probably savvy this game as well. Now, lastly, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to our sponsor, Reverse 1999, for enabling me to bring this beautiful, fun little event to your awareness. Let's go ahead and get into it. So one of the elements I want you guys to get familiar with and acquainted with immediately is this music. Let me tell you something, this Thief of the Rimet Cup got the most killer jazzy vibes that I've heard in quite some time. I am purposely allowing y'all to hear this incredibly tranquil and relaxing music just so we could go into that whole vibe. All right. When you want to go into the event, you click on this bad boy right here, the Thief of the Rimet Cup. We're going to click on this and just go ahead and give it a little bit of a listen. All right. If you like jazzy music, oh yeah, you're gonna like this. We're gonna go over 2 different themes. Try to vibe with me. Come on now. There it is. I love it. I love it. This was like a 10 out of 10 theme song for me. And then I thought to myself, well, maybe this is the theme song for the entirety of the event. I'm gonna get tired of listening to it. Lo and behold, I click down here, the Thief of the Rimet Cup, which by the way, is also where the story is, and the dynamic and the progression of the Thief of the Rimet Cup story, as well as unveiling the background story of Melania herself, one of the promotional characters that's available right now. Click in here. I say, oh, whoa, another one. And I love the build up too. It keeps progressing. Hold on, y'all gonna have to bear with me on this one because I love how it drops the beat and it keeps going deeper into it. Right here, guys. Hold up. Banger, you know, melodies and tones and vibes. It's a whole mood up in here. All right, so this was one of my favorite parts of this event off rip. It already had me hooked in once I heard these beautiful jazzy theme songs. And I just want to go into battle one time. We're gonna exit out, but I just want you guys to hear. It's not, they went all out with the music, guys. I'll tell you, they went all out. It wasn't just like one theme song. They made sure that you was feeling that vibe change up with each different element of the event. And when you're playing Melania, I know I'm promoting her a little bit, but when you're playing Melania with these themes, I ain't gonna lie, it might just be me, but I feel like she a little bit stronger with these tunes in the background. Let's do a quick little pop in, just so you guys can hear the theme song while we're in the middle of the battle. It incorporates it with the battle. Listen to it. I can't even play the game. I'm just listening to the music. So we'll come over here, combine this, kick the dust off this guy's shoulders right here. Ugh. Smooth, smoother than butter on a croissant. Now that we've got the music appreciation out of the way, I want to talk about the mini events and the dynamic of them. Let's go ahead and get into that next. So the first event that becomes available is going to be right here, Bio of the Great Thief. This also happens to be my personal favorite thing to do in the entirety of the event. It was incredibly fun. If you like yourself some puzzles, if you like sneaking around without getting detected, and if you want to give Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible a run for his money, you won't look up any guides on how to solve all of these maps. I'm watching you. All right, let's go ahead and go over one of these. Click on one at random. So you have a map here, and the concept's really simple. You put the pillars onto the stepping stones, if you will, and once you do that, you escape the map without getting detected by any pesky little guards or cameras or whatever it may be on the map that they're going to be showing to you. I'll go ahead and clear this one for you, but the rest is on your own, and I'm watching you. So this guy here is a security guard, obviously. By the way, you could totally put the pillar onto the stepping stone and it won't go just because his light is on there. You yourself just can't get discovered by this guy. Now we're getting serious. Open sesame. He never stood a chance. I'm not an amateur. I've been doing this my whole life. As I said, Mission Impossible. I laugh in the face of Mission Impossible and Tom Cruise. Voila! Once you finish that map, you get to collect all the rewards attached to it. You come down here in the bottom left of the screen, scroll up, and you collect them all. Now, don't think that every map is as easy as that one. As you progress, they're going to get increasingly more challenging, more creative, and more thought-provoking, and it's very enjoyable. Case in point, if I come over here to 10 is quite a treat when it comes to the challenge. Good luck with this one, and again, you have my respect if you figure it out without looking up any guides. It took me personally 45 minutes or so to finish this map. It had me good. Now the next one I want to talk about is going to be the Thief of the Thieves, which, by the way, as you can see, 10 days left at the time of recording, and then we have 21 days, which is 3 weeks for the duration of the entirety of the event. It's going to be going into December, so we have a good ample time to finish everything that it has to offer for us. And right now only the first half of the event is available, but then the second half will become available in 10 days, which is going to be these two events down here, as well as the other promotional character of the event, Pickles, the lovely dog. Let's go ahead and click on this next event and explain how it works. So we're going to click on this. What you have going on here is an event that revolves around a grade system, and you are graded based off of your performance and expertise as a thief. When you click on any of these, we'll click on the first one because this is one of the first events inside of here. You have 2 exclamation points going on here. Your job is to click on any one of your choosing and make the most logical and coherent decisions based on your expertise as a thief. You also want to make decisions that are going to give you the best course of action to not getting discovered and blowing your cover as a thief. So, case in point, let's click on this guy up here. Note that if you do click on one of the exclamation points, you cannot click on the other one, and sometimes one of them are more advantageous to your overall grade than the other. So you'll have to do a little bit of a guess and check process here, and it's actually quite enjoyable figuring it out. This one says an old guard who has worked for your father for many years claims there's a huge malfunction in the CCTV. I told you, Melania, those new gizmos don't work. What am I going to do? Am I going to call the maintainer? Or am I going to check it myself and make sure that everything looks fine and dandy, or if it's a faulty one as he says it is? I choose to check it myself. You reach the monitor room to find the malfunction. There's only a loose plug. Old timer, man. Years catching up to him. And since I made what we call a good choice, my rating went up 5 points. And finally, we have our last exclamation point. And I did say earlier that you can only choose one or the other. We will go over that example as well, but let's choose on this, and then it'll make much more sense as we continue. A man who claims to be a friend of your father enters the security room with tea and cookies, hoping to catch up with you. I'm gonna drive him away. You know why? Bad lie. Your father has no friends. You have avoided a scandal. Rating +5. And that's the end. We move on to the next day. Let's go ahead and move on to the next day. Now, this is what I was talking about. When a red exclamation point comes up, you can only choose one of these exclamation points that are yellow. You cannot do them both. And this is where you have to just make a decision and say, which one am I going to do and prioritize? You can look at it and say, this one doesn't seem as important or critical. Let's see what this one over here is talking about. Oh, a famous collector visits the hall. He asks you to open the glass case for him to watch the exhibit closely. So you could choose which one of these are more of a important priority over the other, and hopefully it's going to increase your rating and give you an overall A or higher with your performance. But do take note, you have to get nothing less than an A or higher to collect all the rewards that they have obtainable. So make sure you're answering those questions correctly and proving yourself as an expert in the field of thievery. Now, the next thing I want to cover with this event is going to be the star of the first half of the event herself, Melania, the expert thief who excels in doing single target oriented bursty DPS damage, while also simultaneously being able to play a defensive role in DPS position if strategized and utilized correctly. And I want to give some insight on that. Before we get into all the details, I just want to let you guys know, she made me fold like a laundromat. I had no intentions to pull on her, but then when I saw that the way her kit looks and the way it works, as well as her aesthetic concept and the way she is, I was like, oh yeah, she got to come home. A thief, that's like the closest thing akin to an assassin, and I'm a big weeb, so I was sold from day one. This is my new main character that I use. I used her to beat the hardest content in the game, Artificial Somnambulism Limbo Floor 6, got 3 stars, so she is awesome, especially considering that this current Artificial Somnambulism doesn't even have an afflatus advantage to the beast element, which, by the way, speaking of the Artificial Somnambulism, there is a new format coming on November 16th that will be favoring the beast and plant elements. So obviously having beast and plant elemental characters built up will favor you when you're trying to clear the hardest content in the game. Now, getting into Melania, let's show off the costume first and foremost. This is her base costume, and then this is going to be her new costume once you take her to Insight 2. And if you want to get a look at how she looks in it, there you go. She's looking nice, real spiffy. I think she's extra swaggerific. I'm loving that red. That's actually my favorite color palette. Red, black, and white. Beautiful color palette for me. I love it. Anyways, let's go ahead and go over the kit real quick. So she has her ultimate. One target attack deals 650% mental damage, and it inflicts 1 stack of Thief Master on the caster. Melania's next incantation is enhanced. So the beautiful thing about this ultimate is it does a ton of single target damage, but that perk Thief Master is one of the most important things about her kit because it allows you to enhance your incantations. Starting off with this incantation, it's a 1 target attack as well, dealing mental damage, and if the caster is in Thief Master status, which you get from popping her ult, you get to steal a Moxie from the target even at a level 1 incantation. Now ideally you want to use this one at level 2 or higher unless situation calls for it. You might have to use it at level 1, but the concept of it is to prevent the enemies from using their ultimates. So if they're in the middle of getting ready to use their ultimate, you can actually use this ability to prevent them from using their ultimate because you're going to steal a Moxie from them and give it to yourself, simultaneously dealing damage to them while preventing them from using their ultimate. It's a big lifesaver and actually a very defensive way of playing the game with Melania while still being a DPS and fulfilling that DPS role. So this is usually something that I will save until it's 2 or 3 stars. If it's 3 stars, you get to steal 2 Moxie from them and you battery the heck out of your Melania, getting her ult up very quickly. Again, you usually want to use this after her ult because it's just so much more powerful thanks to the Thief Master perk that you get from using her ult. And then she has another incantation where she throws these little rats on the ground. It's super cool. It does a mass attack, meaning it deals AoE damage to 2 individuals, and then it also has leech on it, which means you lifesteal with this move. And then of course with Thief Mastery, that's going to be enhanced and you'll be able to steal a Moxie from the target as well. So she's really cool. She's got some CC in her kit with the stealing Moxie. I personally like running her with somebody called Medicine Pocket, who is another sustainer in the game. And Medicine Pocket is fantastic because he can also daze the units, preventing them from moving. And when you couple him up with her, they just pretty much never get a chance to use their ultimates. They're always CCing. So we'll make a guide on that separately on my second channel where where I cover Reverse 1999. It's called Gionic Blues. If you're interested in seeing content on the game, I'll link that down below in the description box. But getting back to the topic, Melania is somebody that is going to specialize in single target DPS damage while also fulfilling a defensive role where she steals Moxie from the unit so that they can't use their ultimates. Now let's move on to rewards. Speaking of rewards, Melania is rocking the brand new 6-star light cone that is completely free and accessible in the event going on right now. I've already taken it to level 50. It synergizes with her kit beautifully well. Let's go ahead and head over to the event shop. Okay, so now that we're back into the story area for the event, there is a souvenir shop up here. Once you click on it, you're able to buy all of these beautiful, generous rewards for this game. Very generous considering the gacha dynamic, where you can use them to progress your character and make them a much stronger character. But what I was going to get into is up here, next to the Unilog wishes that I haven't bought yet, was the 6-star Psy Cube that I ended up purchasing and putting on my Melania. And there's a plethora of other materials inside of this shop that you can utilize to progress her even further, and other characters on your account. You do not want to miss out on this event. Once you end up clearing everything inside of the story, you pretty much click on the most difficult level, put it on arduous difficulty, and on a daily basis, you're going to kind of grind at this and build up some of these doggy points right here, which can be utilized to exchange for the rewards in the souvenir shop. And then finally, the stamp collection is just an array of objectives that you want to get done inside of this event duration that are going to give you even more of those doggy coins. So you want to take your time with this. Remember, it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. You don't have to complete it all in one day. We do have a whopping 21 days remaining, so you have plenty of time for you to get all the rewards that are accessible in this event. And lastly, we can't leave out the other highlight of the event, the lovely dog Pickles. He's coming out on the second half of the event, which by the way, again, unlocks in 10 days. I looked at the China Pride Win tier list, which they're a couple of patches ahead of us. He's still S tier at the very top when it comes to being a supportive character in this game. Gives a ridiculous damage bonus to your team upon popping his ult. You don't have to use him every other turn. In fact, he gets an advantage to his kit's capabilities when you skip turns without using one of his abilities as an action. So be sure to pick up Pickles if you're missing supportive characters. He's going to be very strong, and more importantly, the longevity of his kit is going to be holding true value. And that is going to wrap up all of the important highlights of the event patch 1.1 for Reverse 1999. If you guys haven't tried the game yet, please be sure to click the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment down in the comment section to download it today and start playing and having yourself some good fun. Again, big shout out and thank you to Reverse 1999 for sponsoring this video. Peace, love, and happiness. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.